Welcome everybody to the Baku City Circuit for the Zenith Online Racing Season 6 Tier 2 from Azerbaijan. Another one of the tightest tracks on the calendar this season. Coming off of a tough weekend at Monaco for most of these drivers. It's going to be nothing too much easier this week here from the tight streets of Baku. Just awaiting the start to qualifying here. One of a few street circuits on the calendar. A wide range of corners and straights make up the long lap around here. Looks like we finally have the first drivers out of the pits. I think that was going to be Asylum in the Alpine. Going out on the soft tires, although I would expect to see a few guys at least try a banker lap with the mediums, so definitely a bit of varying already we can see here. Through the tight middle sector, this is one of the trickier sections of the lap. Nearly impossible to get an overtake done through this section, but as it can be done. So of course this area all about building up to the long back straight, as we do have in fact quite a few drivers out on the medium tires, which there are a lot of strategic options that could be in play around this place. Well, we're heading in towards sector 3, which is essentially just the long back straight, which is, I believe, the longest flat-out section on the Formula 1 calendar. Looks like we're going to have a dry session as well, thanks to Wiki Mafia in the chat, for both qualifying and the race. But Asylum's going to be our first driver to start the lap. Let's ride along board the lap of the Baku City Circuit. To start off the lap, it's coming into a very heavy braking zone off one of the longest straights in the calendar. Third gear for the first corner. A bit of a tough traction zone on exit, then into another tight braking zone of turn 2. Very important to get the exit right. There's a long straight down towards turn 3, which is another one of the good overtaking opportunities. It's the apex wall through there. And now in towards what makes up the middle sector. A couple of 90-degree turns which aren't quite as easy as they appear. You're going to want to stay off those curves through this section because they will definitely throw you offline. And towards turn 7 in the castle section, now the one spot on the track where it is possible to invalidate your lap, and then the infamous castle section. Asylum navigates it well this time. And around the old city, one of the more scenic parts of the lap, and towards the tough braking zone of turn 15. Does anyone dare to take the curb tonight? We saw a lot of drivers have issues with it in Tier 1 on Monday. We'll see how Tier 2 handles it. And now, getting around the final corner and onto the long pit straight. You want to be flat out through here, otherwise you're just going to lose some time. But looks to be a very clean lap from Asylum. We'll have to see where that puts him. As Adri's out of the session already at turn 15, there's Asylum with a 38.9, so a very solid time. Wreck Diver's going to be next across the line. And it's a 38.8, so just ahead at the end of the first lap. That's Sam M going third place with a 39.4. And then the other AlphaTauri of Rockstar next across the line. So already only a few minutes into the session, we already have lost Adri at turn 15. So taking no prisoners early on. Rockstar is a second place on the grid with a very solid lap here. Nico is next across, and that's top of the charts at 38.3. He's well clear of the rest of the field. There's Denmark on the mediums going into 5th. One of the Mercedes, that's Zag with a 140.5. Hightower next across, also on the mediums. He goes a 40.8 for 8th place, and then there'll be Babon for the other Aston Martin. Second place on the grid with a 38.5, so A lot of tight times so far, especially at the front of the field. Just got a few guys finishing up their outlaps now at the moment. I believe we have Riley in the other Red Bull who is finishing up a lap, also on the medium tires. Seems to be, from what we've seen so far, the softs definitely have the pace advantage around here compared to the mediums, which we would expect. But just not sure that medium qualifying on the mediums is going to be a viable strategy. But we'll have to see. Up to the line now on the medium tires. Let's see what sort of time this will be. And that's going to be a 39.8, so good enough for 9th place there for the Red Bull driver. I think JXW about to start a lap as well. AlphaTauri, Wreck Diver, and I believe that's Sam M. I think they're just about finishing their in-laps. We'll get on board with JXW, who's on the lap now. Also on the medium tires. Oh, No Mercy's out of the session as well. Where has that happened? Looks to be at the final corner. We'll ride along with Soy Look and see if we can find out what happened. This looks to be the same spot where Adri had his issues. Oh, there goes the car disappearing, but that is certainly, I believe, the trickiest part of the track, even more so than the castle section, with the way the curbs are positioned. But here's Soy Loco through the final chicanes now. Showed some good pace already this season. He's going to get a nice little tow from Zag here, who's coming into the pits. So we'll see how far that moves him up the leaderboard, and it'll be 4th place with a 38.8. So that's a solid lap time. Let's get back to JXW, who I think is going to be next across. Oh, a little bit squirrely on exit, and he's into the wall. He's lucky not to DNF the car there, but he will have to abandon that lap and head back into the pit lane. Mopao Cowboy is going to be next up on the Alfa Romeo. He will only be starting a lap as well, though. Same for Monkey Mafia just behind, and Jay Dudu in the other Haas. Rockstar now, I believe he's on an in lap, but he's only a little bit off of his time through the first sector, so we'll keep an eye on him. He's got Hightower just behind on the mediums, who's probably coming in as well. Rockstar going to hop the curb through there. Manages to take it well, so we'll have to see what kind of time he's on there. And he's 5/10 up through the first 2 sectors. So this could be a good lap for the AlphaTauri driver. You see him go purple in the middle sector. 5/10 would put him right on par with Nico at the top of the board. He's already put a good couple laps on these soft tires, so that is another thing to consider. Up to the line now, and it's fastest by 3/1000ths of a second, a 38.3. And that's just enough to get him pole position. So Loco's invalidated his lap. I think that's one of the Aston Martins coming along next, but we'll get on board with Mopao Cowboy, who's actually just invalidated. So we'll ride with Monkey Mafia, who's just behind, also on the medium tires still. He will be the next driver to finish a lap. Approaching the midway point of this session. Through the first 2 sectors. Don't get a split, as he's yet to set a time in the session. Through the fast chicane. Love that camera shot there. You can just see the camber of the car as it goes to the fast right-hander. Seems to be a pretty good lap for Monkey Mafia, albeit on the medium tires. Let's see what sort of pace he can put up to the line, and is going to be 13th place with a 41.6. So a solid banker time there for Monkey Mafia. Sam M in the middle sector now. I believe he's currently running a lap. We've got Jay Dudu about to cross the line. Nope, he's invalidated as well. That'll be Wreck Diver to start a new lap, as well as I believe one of the Alpines. and Zag as well. So we'll get back to Sam M, who's currently 4.5 tenths up through the first, I believe just the first sector. So definitely looking to improve quite a bit here. And he's up over 5 tenths on his previous best. We know Sam has some pace. He finished on the podium last week at Monaco. Looking to have a repeat of that race tonight. So you see the majority of drivers now onto the soft tires as we expected as this session progressed. Up to line, and it's up to 6th place for Sam M, so that midfield battle is very tight at the moment. Get on board with Zag, and you can see it is just 1 tenth separating 4th from 7th. I'm sorry, not Zag, Grim Reaper, who's crossing the line next, but that will just be the start of lap. And Power Cowboy as well, finishing up. I believe this is his 2nd lap on the soft tires. And he goes 4th place, so that's a very good time for the Alfa Romeo driver. And Riley is next to start, or finish lap, I believe. Wasn't able to improve past 11th. And that's Nico going into the 37s with a very good time. Babon going just behind with a 38.0. So the time is dropping as we progress. And here's Wreck Diver, who's going to look to get close to that time as well. He's into 3rd place, just outside of the 37s. Here's Denmark now, up into 5th place. Zag next to cross line for Mercedes, almost a second up, and that's a 39.6, so that's another good time. The two McLarens just about to both begin their laps. It'll be Asylum to cross the line next. Everybody improving on the time, but still just Nico, the only driver into the 37s. Let's see where Asylum can go, and that's 5th place, just ahead of his Alpine teammate, a 38.6, so that is a very tidy lap right there. JXW next, still looking to get a time on the board. This might be his one and only chance. He's going to be the next driver to cross the line, and it is 5th place, so that is a very good time, a 38.5. Sam coming into the pits, so Jay Dudu starting on a new lap as well. Here's Riley, currently sitting 13th, I believe. He's over a second up according to the Delta through the first 2 sectors. So this could be a big improvement, and it is 6th place once again, just behind his teammate. So a very tight midfield battle now at the moment. Here's Mo Power Cowboy. He is not pushing. Grim Reaper's going to be next. He's also heading back into the pits, as is Babon just behind. So everybody heading in to prepare for the final lap for their final laps of the session. Trying to catch someone who's currently pushing. Wreck Diver heading in as well, as is Zag just behind. We've got the 2 McLarens. Soy Loco will be first to cross. Currently 10th on the grid, now up to 7th. So again, another one of those drivers pushing right to that field. You can see from 5th down to about 11th is just a couple of tenths, which is insanely tight. This is a very competitive grid here we have here in Tier 2. And there goes Asylum, equals Rockstar's time and goes up to 5th place. This JXW was a 1/10 down on his time through the first 2 sectors. Will he continue pushing? Looks like he's going to head into the pit lane as well. So we'll jump to the other Red Bull who is invalidated. I think Asylum was coming in for his in-lap. Sam M starting his outlap. He will be the first of the drivers at their final runs. Is that Jay Dudu going 4th place? It is. A 38.3 once again. So a little bit of separation from the top 3. But still a very solid lap. Everybody getting set for those last runs. Want to be the last man out there to capitalize on the best track evolution possible, as well as getting the toe of the drivers in front. You can just see the front wing on Sam's car there. The ride height that it is currently running with. Tracking through Sector 3. Just under 3 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Baku, not the most difficult place to overtake, so could see a lot of action in the race, meaning that this qualifying is less important, but don't tell that to these guys now. Here comes Sam, about to start what should be his final flyer of the session. Going to want to improve from 12th on the grid, but he doesn't have to make up much time in order to do that. Making the most of the track limits through turn 1. A little bit of a lockup into turn 2, but keeps it okay. Down the long back straights, we've got a caravan of drivers just behind. I believe that's both AlphaTauris and both Mercedes. So that might cause some problems with queuing up for the final flying laps. Here's Sam through the middle sector now. Looking like a very tidy lap so far. Let's see if he can keep it up. Very nicely done through turn 7. Keeps it clean through the castle section, which is the most important thing. Just about using up all the track on the exit. It is one of the most close midfield battles I've ever seen in a qualifying session, but that's what we like to see. Yeah, Sam on a flying lap, 3/10 up through the first 2 sectors. And this could be a good time. He's just got to keep it clean through the final chicane. And up to the line, let's see just how much he'll improve by. So we've got a massive queue behind him at the final braking zone. And is up to 7th place at 38.5, so a very good lap time from Sam. He could go for one more flying lap if he so chooses. But here's Wreck Diver is going to be next to start a flying lap. Both Mercedes, and I believe one of the Alpines, or one of the Williams behind, that's Monkey Mafia, who I believe is pushing on the lap here. And he is. He goes up to 15th place at 40.7. So McLaren of Hightower are going to be next. Almost 2 seconds up on his time. And he might be able to give Soy Loco a bit of a tow here. Down the pit straight. As the session has ended. So these will be the final laps. There's Hightower into 13th. Soy Loco going to be next to cross. Next is Nico. 37.6 improves on his time even a bit more. Denmark next, and he goes second at 37.8, so just about 2/10 off. JXW next in the Red Bull, 3/10 up through the first 2 sectors, but he's going to need to find some more time. This could see him into the top 5 for the race. Time ticking down. Here comes JXW up to the line now, and it is 4th place at 38.1, so that is a very good lap. Here comes Babon, and he's heading into the pit. Mopower Cowboy will follow him in as well. I think we've got Rockstar and Wreck Diver next in the AlphaTauris. Wreck Diver 5/10 up with a purple middle sector. So this could be a pole time here from the AlphaTauris, man. Again, on the podium a couple times already this season. Let's see if he can keep that up tonight. He seems to have the pace for it. Down the long straight, the front finish line seems agonizingly far away, and it's just off a pole. But then Rockstar goes pole with a 37.59, so just about taking it. Zyg can improve. Grim Reaper just behind, and he goes 16th fastest. Sam M coming into the pits, and I think that will end the qualifying session. So Rockstar taking pole position right at the death with a 37.5, just 2/100ths of a second, but it's enough to get an AlphaTauri 1-3, and this is a insane session. We have quite the tight battle at the front and also in the midfield, which should be a good sign for tonight's race. It will be 26 laps a lot can happen. I will expect to see a safety car early. The entire top 10 did end up on the softs, so that shouldn't play a factor in terms of strategy. But yes, one of the closest qualifying sessions I've seen in a long time. Take one last look through the grid order. Rockstar will start on pole in the AlphaTauri. Nico starting alongside in P2. Wreck Diver starting third alongside Denmark in fourth. Mr. Babon starting fifth. JXW sixth. Jay Dudu 7th, Asylum 8th, Sam M and Riley round out the top 10. Then it is Soy Loco, Mopao Cowboy, Hightower, Zag, No Mercy, Grim Reaper, Monkey Mafia, and Adri Lockdock 2 round out the field. So it's a close grid from the top to the bottom. I believe from Mr. Babon in 5th place down to Hightower in 13th. That is just 0.8 of a second, which is absurd for a track with as long as a lap as Baku. Welcome to the chat, Alexis. It's going to be a fantastic race tonight. Tier 2 always puts on a show, especially at a place like Baku. Expect to see quite a few drag races down the pit straight tonight. And just as forecasted, we will have a dry session tonight, not a cloud in the sky here in Azerbaijan. Just taking a bit of a breath here before we go flat out for 26 laps. We should see most of the drivers outside the top 10 elect for either the mediums or the hards, as there's a lot of different ways a strategy can go, but the softs do not last very long around here. Although some of those drivers who did qualify with a set of mediums for one of their outlaps will have a fresh set of soft tires available, so they could make a medium soft or a soft to medium strategy work if they were to do so. That's another thing that could throw a spanner into the works tonight. Yeah, I agree with that Asylum. Nothing like the nerves before a race. It's always the worst part of the race when you're just sitting there with anticipation on the grid. And those don't go away until the lights go out. It's one thing I think everybody has experienced. But here we are. It looks like we're about set to get underway here from the Baku City Circuit. Always provides entertaining races. And I think tonight's going to be no exception with this tight grid we have so far. And looks like we're rolling for the formation lap. Let's take a look at the tires. Everybody is running. So the top 10 all starting on softs. Rockstar on pole. Nico second. Rick Diver in the second. AlphaTauri third. Denmark 4th, Babon 5th, JXW 6th, Jay Dudu 7th, Asylum starting 8th, Sam M starting 9th, and Riley 10th. Those drivers all on the softs. Then outside the top 10 we have Soy Loco 11th and Mopao Cowboy both on the mediums, followed by Hightower on the hard, so definitely looking to go long into this race. Might see him struggle at the start of the first couple laps though. We'll see how that works out for him. Zag starting 14th on the mediums, as is No Mercy and Grim Reaper behind. Monkey Mafia going for the soft tires, so I believe we did see him set sometimes on the mediums in qualifying, so could be looking for a soft medium stint. We know he is pretty good at tire preservation, so that could be one to watch out for from the back of the grid. And starting in 18th is Adri Lockdock. Did have that incident in qualifying, but we know he has pace, so we'll have to see how quickly he can make his way up through the field. Heading in through the end of Sector 2 towards Sector 3 on this formation lap, getting set for 26 laps of Baku. Not quite as important to keep it clean as it is around Monaco. but still something that is going to have to come as a first priority for these guys. It's a very short run down to turn 1, which is another factor that will favor Rockstar off the line. Everyone wanting to get as much heat into their tires as possible, especially those are starting on the mediums tonight. Coming up towards the grid here in Baku. It was a fantastic race on Monday. It should be a fantastic race here again tonight. Tier 2, one of the most competitive tiers in all of sim racing. We've got Rockstar versus Nico on the front row of the grid. We've got Adri and Monkey Mafia pulling up to the back of the grid at the moment now. And then we'll be all set. Just waiting for the lights to come on. And I think we're all set to go. It's 5 lights. And we're off here from Azerbaijan. Looks to be a clean start from everybody. Nico looking to challenge Rockstar into turn 1. They're going to go side by side, and Nico's gone off. He's gone around, and there's been a massive collision. That's Baban who's gone around. Both McLarens, I think that Soy Loco might have picked up damage. And one of the Haas's, I think that was Jay Dudu, had an incident as well and was involved in that. But Rockstar, with the collision with Nico off the front of the grid, maintains P1, and we have a virtual safety car already. So Denmark has jumped up to P2, JXW up to 4th, Asylum up to 5th, Hightower picking up a 5-second penalty already. And a chaotic first turn here in Baku. Rockstar and Nico went side by side. They both got about equal jumps off the line. So we knew it was going to be close through there. And just not enough space. It's a very tight apex of turn 1. But it's worked out in Rockstar's favor. And I'm sure we definitely have a few drivers down towards the back of the grid with wing damage. We did see Baban sideways at the exit of turn 1. I think that one of the Haas's, I think of Jay Dudu, was involved in that collision as well. Luckily, if this VSC lasts long enough, they could have an opportunity for a cheap pit stop. An alternative even to go onto the hards from here. But Rockstar is the leader. Denmark has managed to pull out 2nd place. Take a look at position changes real quick. Oh, and Mo Power Cowboy has picked up the first drive-through penalty of the night. There's Grim Reaper and the Mercedes. Both of them have made up significant ground. As Cowboy's just going to yield a few positions there. He knows that's not his fight. But here's the battle for 4th at the moment. A bit of a train building behind Wreck Diver. We'll see if anybody can make a move. Sam losing on a spot to Zag. I think wing damage maybe playing a factor. Soy Loco losing a bit of time as well. And the timing screen's going a little bit funky here. We'll try to keep up with it as best as we can, but Rockstar still maintains the lead. Soy Loco is out of the race. What has happened there? Is that in the oh, that is just off the pit lane. It's a very odd spot to lose the car, but we'll get back with Rockstar, who I believe is the race leader. I think that is Denmark just behind. So Sam, Cowboy, and Hightower all going on to the medium tires. But Denmark, yeah, he is in 2nd place just behind Rockstar at the moment. Not going to be close enough to make a move. There's Jax and Wreck Diver battling for 3rd just behind. All clean through the castle section. Rockstar a bit wide. Denmark struggling for grip on exit, but keeps it clean. Another yellow flag. Who's gone around? Is that Jay Dudu having more issues at the castle section? He's missing his front wing. And he's retired from the race. Did he? I think he made contact with a wall on exit there. And we have another VSC. So more drama tonight, as this is going to hurt Denmark in his best opportunity to make an overtake for the lead. was a very bizarre incident from Jay Duty. He had a bit of an incident through the castle section, was looking to get it going again, and made contact with the wall, and I believe just retired the car there from that contact. But regardless, we have another virtual safety car. Field starting to find a bit of space for themselves. But here's Riley in 6th place at the moment, just behind Asylum. So starting to build a little bit of an accordion effect here. Two groups towards the front of the grid as Mopile Cowboy is back into the pit lane. All sorts of wacky intervals, but we've got Rockstar still out in front. Denmark is still hanging on to the back of him, keeping within the DRS range. Another yellow flag at turn 1. That's Babon, who's had an incident at the exit of the pit lane, and he's lost his front wing. So he's going to be having more troubles as well. So not the greatest start for Babon and the Aston Martin. So we're on board with Denmark now, who might have an opportunity to get Rockstar here. I think he's going to have DRS this time as well. So coming through the fast chicane, let's see if he is going to be close up to make a move. It seems like he got a much better exit. I think this is going to be a move for the lead done and dusted. Moving towards the left side as they go past the pit lane, picking up the fastest lap to boot. And who's that tucking into the pits? That's JXW. So a bit of an early stop, and Asylum as well just behind. So already starting to see some strategy come into play. JX going on to the medium tires. We'll see what Asylum goes on to. And that is a set of mediums as well. So likely going to be a 2-stop then. A bit early to try to take the mediums to the end. But this is still the closest battle on track. Also the battle for the lead. Rockstar and Denmark. So JXW and Asylum coming out 9th and 10th respectively. So just ahead of a few drivers on the grid who have been having some issues tonight. No Mercy picking up the fastest lap. That is on a fresh set of medium tires. So perhaps the medium is showing some good pace already tonight. Adri is closing up to Monkey Mafia. This is the battle for 7th place at the moment. Monkey Mafia does have that 5-second penalty from the shenanigans on the first lap. He's going to have to serve that when he makes his pit stop, so that is unfortunate, but it's definitely something to keep an eye out on. Rockstar and Denmark have been dueling it out at the front here at the moment, and they've pulled quite a bit of a gap to Wreck Diver and the rest of the field behind. Riley has dropped off about 5 seconds off the second AlphaTauri. I think Rockstar, he got a much better run through the chicane, and I think he's going to have this move back through into before turn 1. Denmark is actually going to duck into the pits. That was a very late call. That could have been disastrous. But that will see Rockstar into the lead for now. Wreck Diver is going to the pits as well as that. Monkey Mafia is out of the race. And that has been a massive crash at the final turn in a safety car. So this is going to play out massively for the 3 drivers who have just pitted. And Rockstar and Zag have just gone past the pit lane entry. So now, actually not seeing as many drivers into the pits as we expected. But this is going to turn out perfectly for Wreck Diver, Riley, and I think Denmark, who has come back out in 4th place on a fresh set of hard tires, which should take him to the end of the race. And effectively erasing that gap that he was going to have to give up to the pit stop. So Monkey Mafia out of the session already due to a crash at the final chicane. So let's take a breath here onto the safety car. Most drivers back onto fresh, relatively fresh or fresh set of tires. Rockstar, the only runner still on the soft side. Anticipate seeing him on pit lane here, although he's probably going to lose quite a few places. Although he does have a 13-second gap at the moment to Zag, so that might be enough to get him out back in the lead, or maybe even 2nd place. Sure, we'll take a look at the position change at the moment. So Zag, Grim Reaper, and Adri all up over 10 positions respectively. Although I don't think neither of those drivers have made stops in this race. Although with the safety car here, the strategy is going to be all turned upside down. So no mercies, up 3 out of the drivers who have stopped. Nico and Wreck Diver losing some positions as well. Babon having a tough race, down 10. But we do see Rockstar into the pits. I'll have to see where he comes out here. I think he is going to lose out on quite a few spots. He's going for a wing change as well, which isn't going to help. Zyg and Grim Reaper both decide to stay out, which makes sense considering they're on the medium tires. Denmark stays out as well. He's going to make the undercut work significantly, as will Adri and JXW. No, Rockstar's going to come out just ahead. So, considering he's got the wing change, only 4th place for Rockstar. Not too bad of a result. And on the fresh medium tires, which I don't think he's going to be able to take those to the end. It would be quite a stretch, but with the safety car, it is possible. So with all the safety car drawn, we effectively have a reset between Denmark and Rockstar, albeit on the 2 different tire compounds. Which just leaves the 2 Mercedes and Adri as the only drivers still yet to make their mandatory stop. Everybody else theoretically could go to the end, so that would put Denmark in the net lead of this race. JXW in net 3rd, but he's going to have Adri in his way, so he's going to want to clear him as quickly as possible. Now the entire grid, with the exception of Denmark, has switched to the medium tires, which is saying something about which is the preferred race tire around here. Let's take a bit of a breath after what was a chaotic start to this race. We're on lap 6 out of 26, so almost a 4th of the way through the race. And we've seen chaos already. But that's what we've come to expect from Baku. This safety car has been a gift for Babon, who's going to be on a fresh set of tires and will close back up to the end of the grid. An unfortunate incident he had in the first lap of the race. But Zyg and Grim Reaper, both on the medium tires, still having yet to make that stop. They will be on the first 2 positions for this restart. And I think JX, he is in a good spot at the moment, as is Adri, because if Adri can get into a position where he can one stop to either a set of hards or softs and be on much faster tires at the end of the race, I think he'll be in a good shot for at least the top 5, although we've got Rockstar and Denmark who are going to be looking to clear these Mercedes runners as quickly as possible. We expect the mediums to be able to do about 15-16 laps comfortably. Although with this safety car, they may be able to stretch them out a little bit longer than that. So the safety car once again acting as a bit of a restart to everybody who had those issues through the first few laps of the race. But Rockstar and Denmark have been putting on a show so far tonight with that battle for the lead, and they'll be right on top of each other once again on this restart. So this time with a bit of traffic in play. We'll have to see how that affects them. Denmark is on the hards, which is going to be a bit of a struggle for him in this restart, but will come into play and give him a benefit at the end of the race. He can most definitely make it to the end comfortably, but again, the hards won't be the best tire, especially at the first stage of the restart. I think we should see the safety car in this lap, just waiting on Babon to close up to the back of the field. It appears we may have to wait another lap. Nope, the safety car will be in this lap. So Zyg will control the field for the restart. Maybe a bit of team order. So you've got both Mercedes there, so they can coordinate this restart however they like. They can either go right away and try to catch the field off guard, or wait till the last second and avoid giving them the tow. Got to get as much temperature as possible into those tires. Zag's still weaving, and he's gone. So we're back underway. Grim Reaper getting a good restart, as is Denmark just behind. So the entire front half of the field getting a good start. Grim Reaper thought about looking up the inside, but it was a good decision not to go for it. Here comes Denmark around the outside on the fresh hards, and he's going to be through. And Rockstar's going to go through as well, so Grim Reaper losing out on 2 spots there. And that's going to affect Zag as well. Adri's going to go by as well. Nico making up a position. Now JXW just going to be watching this battle ahead. Rockstar and Denmark side by side in turn 3. Rockstar knows he has to be patient there. Adri hangs on to 4th. JXW around the outside of Asylum now. Trying to follow Adri through. Can't go up the inside of Grim Reaper. Still got Asylum there. Wreck Diver stuck. A little bit of contact with Nico. Asylum is just ahead of this battle as well. JXW running a bit wide. This is going to compromise this exit. Side by side. Incredible battle by Nico and Wreck Diver there. Side by side through the entire first sector. Riley trying to find a bit of space behind as well, but just nowhere to go. So a very tight restart, but everybody seems to have gotten it figured out. This is Asylum on the back of JXW, who's on the back of Grim Reaper, who did not get a good restart at all. He's dropped down to 5th, and he's already 2 seconds off the back of Adri. Still managing to hang off this battle behind. Asylum was looking for a way through. Nico's in the wall and he's out of the session. And that is one corner that will easily catch you out, and we have another safety car. So Nico, after showing great pace in qualifying, did not have the best start to the race and now is out. And now more strategy. I expect we should see Zag, Adri, and Grim Reaper all into the pits here. Even though it's going to cost them track position. Well, Zag is going to stay out at the last second. That is a bold call. Adri is in surely, yes. As is Grim Reaper. Zag and Asylum, and I think that was JXW who picked up that 5-second penalty. JXW is going to have to serve that. Oh no, yes, he will have to serve that. But Zag electing to stay out on the mediums. A bit of a bold strategy. He's gonna have to put on a heck of a defense on this restart, or else he'll find himself just about the same spot as everybody else. Adri, Grim Reaper both onto the hards, Hightower back onto the hards, and JXW onto a fresh set of softs. So committing to a 2-stop, I believe what would be a 3-stop. Yeah, that was definitely a very tough decision to make strategy-wise. The one thing that Zag does have going for him is the clean air and the fact that Denmark behind him is on the hard. So if he can clear a bit of a gap and make up time on everybody else who's battling, he might be able to make this overcut work on the rest of the guys who've just come in for a fresh set of tires. But there's the battle for the net lead. Asylum has found himself up into net P3. So that's a very good result for him. Let's take a look. He started 8th on the grid. And having himself a pretty nice day today. Wreck Diver back up into 5th. He was up at the front near the start of the race. Lost a bit of ground in the pit stops on Denmark and Rockstar. Who we'll just have to negotiate Zag, and then we'll be back at the front of the field. With these 2 safety cars, it'll be interesting to see if Rockstar can take this set of mediums to the end. It's going to be quite a ways to go to the end to get there, but it is possible. We'll get one more lap under these safety car conditions. 14 runners left in the race. Asylum, he's going to duck into the pits. So this is a bold call. He did have that 5-second penalty though, so I believe he's going to get that served here, and a wing change, so must have picked up wing damage at some point. The good thing for him is he's going to get onto a fresh set of tires. Interesting to elect that he's going for the softs. Not what I would have anticipated. But he will get his 5-second penalty out of the way and minimize the time lost. Although it will put him back into some traffic. So that moves Wreck Diver up to 4th. Just behind his AlphaTauri teammate Rockstar. No Mercy having a bit of a quiet day in 6th at the moment, on a bit of older medium tires, but still in a relatively good position. Started near the bottom of the field, but he's in for a solid run tonight. Denmark's still the net leader of the race, but he's going to have to warm these cards up once again. Once again, Zag will control the restart. It's going to be a bit tougher this time. He's not going to have Grim Reaper behind his teammate as a buffer. So he's going to have everybody behind him on relatively fresh tires. Although, with all the safety car running, Zag, he could... These medium tires should be running fairly okay for him. We should see the safety car come in this lap. We also have JXW and Asylum at the back of the grid on fresh softs, so they'll have an opportunity to make their way up through the field. But Baku, it's going to be tough to make up all those positions through the middle sector. Zag backing up the field once again. Let's see when he punches it to the throttle. Denmark is following him very closely. Still weaving as he approaches the DRS zone. And he's gone. Denmark just behind. Zag getting a pretty good restart. I don't think anybody's going to be close enough to make a move. So Zag just ahead of Denmark as they go through turn 1. Ooh, I think that was Samu was a little bit wide on the exit, but he managed to keep it okay. Rockstar's right there, a bit of position changing at the back. Not going to be close enough to make a move. Let's drop back. JXW has made his way past Grim Reaper, and I think Asylum is going to get there as well. So Grim Reaper struggling on the fresh hards, as is Hightower, who's dropped off a position as well. Back up to the front of the grid. Rockstar is right on the back of Denmark, as he was from the entire restart. No Mercy going up the inside of Riley as well. Through the middle sector, we've got a yellow flag, and that is Grim Reaper who's having an issue. No Mercy didn't get the best of exits, as did Riley. Sam M looking to the outside. Riley having a bit of wing damage, which is going to be brutal through the middle sector. Sam M with the switchback. Are we going to go side by side through the castle section? Riley backs out of that one. He knows this for the better. Now Babon's going to be next to get through. Trying to follow his teammate. I think it was that JXW who's had an issue at the castle section. He's gone into the wall. So JXW having some issues. Luckily he'll be able to pit and get a new front wing. Riley going wide. There goes Babon through. Cowboy's not going to be close enough this time, but let's get back to the front of the grid as we approach the main straight. Zag still holding on to the lead. Denmark in second. Not going to be close up this time, but Rockstar is right there. He's looking for second place. He's not going to have DRS, and Denmark is going to have the slipstream, but he might have a chance. Wreck Diver's out. He's out of the race at the exit of turn 20, right in the middle of the track, and we have another safety car. Does anybody go in? Oh, and Denmark is out of the session. What has happened there? Oh, and he's had a collision with Zag, and they've just missed the pit entry as well, so No Mercy is in. This is a beautiful opportunity for the rest of the medium runners, but the top two have just gone past. I think everybody else is into the pits, with the exception of Cowboy, who stayed out. I think Hightower is forced to stay out as well. No Mercy in, Sam is in, Asylum in as well. Riley coming in for a wing change as well, so as is JXW, so getting bailed out, but chaos there. We saw Wreck Diver had a bit of an incident at turn 20. We've seen quite a few drivers DNF there this weekend. But then another collision at the front of the grid, which involved Denmark DNFing. Not entirely sure what happened, but Zag picking up a 5-second penalty in the process just about caught the end of that. Maybe a bit of decision making with the pit lane being right there, but we have our third safety car of the night already. We're not even halfway through this race. Down to 12 runners. A lot happening there within just the one lap, but Zag is in another tricky position there. All these safety cars is causing the rest of the field to stick right on the back bumper of him, which is not going to be what he wants. Because when he does have to make that stop, he will have to make very shortly. He's going to lose a lot of positions. The only saving grace for him is he might be able to hang out for the softs now. But that was just a couple of bizarre incidents in a row, so already a bizarre race. But if you don't look now, we've got Mr. Babon back up in third place after being backwards on the opening turn of the lap 1. He now finds himself back in a podium position. Let's see, Zag, he elects to stay out, so fully committing to this stint on the medium tires. I was half expecting to see him into the pits. There goes Babon, actually is into the pits, putting on a fresh set of mediums, so a smart call from him. He's only going to lose 1 or 2 spots, and now he knows he can make it to the end of the race. Yeah, I agree. Medium soft is, I'm definitely thinking that's where he's going to go. Especially if he does have a fresh set of soft tires available, it's definitely possible. Because I would have expected to see him in for the hards by now if that was his strategy. But Babon, a nice call there. He's only come out back out in 7th, and now he knows he can get to the end. So that could work out brilliantly for him. Yeah, that was just an unfortunate incident there. Denmark and wrecked driver for both of you. It's a tough section of the track, and you know, a lot can happen, and we've seen a lot of victims here already. We're not even halfway through, and even most of the guys still left in this race have been involved in incidents one way or the other. Through all that, Zag still leads, although I believe he is the only driver who has not come in yet. Yes, that is correct. He does have that 5-second penalty as well, which is not going to help his case, because he's going to have to serve that when he does make his pit stop, which is another reason I'm surprised he didn't come in there on that last lap. Even if he is holding out for the softs, the amount of traffic he's going to have to get through, it's just not worth it, as opposed to just coming in now for the first set of hards. But let's take another quick wind down through the field. Cowboy, after serving his drive-thru early on in the race, is back up to 3rd. He is probably going to have to make one more pit stop in this race, but still a solid recovery. Adrian Hightower, no mercy, 4th, 5th, and 6th, all on fresh set of hards. So they're looking on track for a podium, possibly even a race win at this pace. Then we've got both Aston Martins, who've had up and down races, but find themselves in decent positions, and both can go to the end. So most of these drivers can go to the end. I think the top 3 we will see, right? At least Zag and Cowboy we will see in the pits. I think Rockstar might try to take that set of mediums to the end. But outside of those guys, we should see everybody heading to the end. Then at the back, Asylum is in 9th. Riley back out in 10th on a fresh set of hards. JXW and Grim Reaper will be 11th and 12th for this restart. So we're going to restart, I think, this time by which we will have 12 laps remaining. So just over halfway through what has already been a chaotic race here in Baku. I think it's only going to get crazier. Again, these safety car laps definitely helping out Rockstar. He's done 7 laps on those medium tires, although we have had 3 safety cars during that period, so I think that might be enough for him to get these tires to the end, and it also puts him in a position to easily go into a fresh set of softs if he would like to at the end of the race, if we were to get another late safety car. But again, with how close this grid has been tonight, I think we're going to see another chaotic restart. Both the first two were quite chaotic already. I think we'll see more of the same this time by. And as confirmation, safety car is in this time by. Zag, the race leader, Rockstar just behind. And you've got Cowboy in third, ahead of the barrage of cars with fresh tires, beginning with Adri Lockdock in fourth. Well, let's follow Zag from the front of the grid. Rockstar is just behind. This will be his first opportunity from second on the restart. Ooh, very close. Let's see when Zag decides to go. Nearly side by side as they approach the pit straight. Still holding off. Still weaving. A bit of position changing at the back of the grid. That's not going to be good. Zag is still waiting here, and then he's finally gone. Rockstar's not able to make a move. There goes Adri up the inside of Cowboy. I think he's going to get the move done. And yes, he does. So No Mercy also making up a position on Hightower as well. Cowboy trying to fight it back around the outside. A beautiful move through turn 2. And Adri will have to wait another time. There goes Sam M making up another position. Riley's out of the race. And that is happening at the exit of turn 2. So perhaps just lost a bit of grip on exit. Here goes No Mercy down the outside of Adri at turn 3. But he's going to be squeezed out. Asylum making a nice move up the inside of Hightower. Now looking to get past Sam. But there's just no room in the middle sector. JXW now past Hightower. So Hightower struggling on those older hard tires. No Mercy running a bit deep through there, but I don't think Sam is going to be close enough this time. Fuzz, at this rate, RC might be on the podium with the amount of incidents we've seen tonight. But still the field staying as it is. Let's get back to the front of the grid. Zag has managed to hang on to the race lead. Rockstar still in second, and Cowboy has fought off Adri Lockdock, even though being on the older medium tires. Cowboy still sitting in third. We approach the better opportunities on the track to overtake. These three have pulled out quite a bit of a gap to the rest of the field behind. Let's ride on board with Rockstar. Let's see if he can get past Zag into turn 1. It would be absolutely crucial for his race to do so. He's got a much better exit through the final chicane. He's not going to have the DRS though, but I think he's going to be close enough to at least have a look. He's going to the inside. This long straight is not going to be what Zag wants. He's not going to be able to make it. He's running out of steam. And they're going to go side by side to turn 1, and Rockstar's going to have that. Zag is forced to back out. Cowboy's gone wide. He's managed to keep it off the wall, but Adri's going to gain a ton of time to there. Asylum was on the back of Sam M. This for 6th place. Not quite close enough to make a move. Tight battles all across the field. I think they're all going to stay as is, although Babana is right on the back of Hightower. This is for 9th. He's going to look to the inside, but thinks better of it. Just not enough room through there. Although he is still there. Although we do have a crazy midfield battle. This practically the entire grid. We're on board with Asylum, who's right on the back of Sam. Is he going to have a chance into turn 7? Sam defends well. Ahead of him just No Mercy and Adri, who are on the hard tires. Babon does get past Hightower, who had a bit of an incident there through turn 7. Asylum is having troubles, and he's into the wall. And another safety car. And what is this for? And Asylum has lost his entire front wing, so I'm assuming that is the issue here. But this is our 4th safety car of the night tonight. Oh, and Asylum is lucky not to DNF there. That was a heavy impact to the wall. But this again changes things for the strategy. I expect we'll see at least Zag and Cowboy in for sure. Although now I think you have to go for the softs with the amount of laps remaining. Rockstar I think has to stay out. I mean those mediums, he hasn't really done much green flag running on them, but we'll see. Looks to be trending towards the pit lane. And no, he's going to stay out at the last second. Yes, Zag does come in. He's going to have to serve that penalty, which might be crucial here. Adri stays out, as does No Mercy, Sam, and JXW. But the two we expected, as well as Asylum and Hightower. And so Hightower, we saw him struggling on those hard tires, which could be a good reason. Yep, Zag has gone to the softs, which is what I expected. He did have to serve that penalty. And he's getting a front wing change as well, so he's going to lose a few positions here, I would expect. You know, Zag is going to come out dead last in 11th place. Does clear his penalty though, and is on a fresh set of softs. But we've got 4 runners at the back of the grid on a fresh set of softs, and the drivers on the oldest tires at the front of the grid. This is going to make for an exciting end of this race, assuming we stay green, hopefully. I'm not exactly sure, Team Money. I think we saw Asylum having a bit of an issue through the castle section, missing his entire front wing. I'm guessing that debris is what caused it, but still seems a bit of a soft safety car in my opinion. But regardless, we are back under safety car conditions. Bernd Meinlander leading the most laps tonight. So Zag finally coming onto the pits. Has he picked up another penalty? So that is unfortunate. He clears one penalty in the pits and he's picked up another, which is crucial considering we will only have a few laps left when we restart, which might be this time by. But this is going to shape things up to be interesting because the field is exactly inverted on tire life for the most part. So this could get chaotic with a lot of the guys on quicker tires at the back of the field. Adri, No Mercy, second and third, both on hard tires, but that could be a good thing for them if they're able to maintain position. A good thing for Adri is he has No Mercy behind him also on the hards. You've got Sam, the leading medium runner, and those mediums should be comfortably good to the end, which puts him in a good position to win this race if Rockstar's tires start to go off, because he's going to have to end up doing almost 20 laps on that set of mediums. And you got JX, Babon, and Grim Reaper behind, all on medium tires. So despite the up and down races that I think just about every one of these guys has had, they all find themselves with a reasonable position to win this race. And then you have Cowboy running in 8th. He had a drive-through on one of the opening laps of the race, and here he is, 8th place on a fresh set of softs. And you've got Hightower and Asylum behind, and then Zag had a few tough strategy decisions to make. Finds himself in 11th now, albeit on a fresh set of softs. So he could make some noise here in the last 8 laps, but we should get restarted once again this time. So I think we're gonna, by the time this race is said and done, we're gonna have spent more laps behind the safety car than not behind it. But the good thing about that is all of these restarts, which have been chaotic. And I think we're gonna see yet another one of those this time by. Rockstar leading the race. He's been consistently at the front despite everybody else who's been up there having issues. So we know he has the opportunity and the pace to win this race. Although he's committed to taking the set of mediums to the end, it appears. Which could be the one thing that gives him trouble. So Zag led the restart for the last couple safety cars. Rockstar leading it this time. We saw Zag wait for the last possible second each of the last couple times. We'll see what Rockstar decides to do this time. Adrian, No Mercy on the hards just behind. They're going to be looking to pounce, maybe not into turn 1, but maybe into turns 2 or 3. And then of course you have the soft runners at the back of the grid. It's still anyone's race. We'll have 8 laps to go when we get started. Rockstar's gone. Adri gets a decent start, but I don't think he's going to be close enough. No Mercy dropping off a bit, so this could be what Adri needs. He's not going to be close enough into turn 1. Hightower on the back of Cowboy. Backs off early. Here comes Asylum down the inside. And Asylum's going to make up the place, but Hightower sticks it around the outside. Zag looking to get through as well. We'll get back up to the midfield battle. No Mercy has already dropped out of DRS range. Hightower and Asylum going side by side. There goes Zag up the inside. 3 wide down towards turn 3. Are they going to make it stick? It looks like they are. Zag has passed Asylum, and now he's going to look to get past Hightower, but Hightower manages to hang on. Sandman running in 4th. He's going to want to get past these 2 hard runners as quickly as possible. As Rockstar has cleared about a 1.5-second gap already. JX now in 5th on the back of Sam. Everybody on about equal tires, but the soft runners have not been able to make up as much of a gap as they would have liked. Lovely shot through the castle section. Quite the train is No Mercy and Sam starting to close back up to Adri. But they got to be careful here. Rockstar starting to pull away. Sam the closest on track. Let's see if he can get a move down the main straight. We've also got JXW who's just about pushing in through the final braking zone. JX is right there. Let's see if he can make a move. This is not what Sam wants to do, and Asylum is out of the race at the final corner. So we're down to 10 runners, but we're sticking with this battle, which could end up being for the race win. Sam M is right there. I think he's going to have No Mercy. Cowboy getting past Grim Reaper down the straight. There goes Sam. Is JXW going to get past as well? No, he's not. Sam M and No Mercy side by side. A little bit of contact. And No Mercy will hang on to the position for the time being. Still no DRS yet, of course. JX got a much better exit than Sam did that time. And No Mercy is going to hang on to the position as well. This is all what Rockstar is going to want to see in his mirrors. Sam and JX, they seem to have the pace over the hard runners, but just not quite enough to get through. Cowboy is catching up to this group as well, the lead soft runner, so he's still yet to make an impact on this race. So Adri holding up this train a little bit. He's now dropped over 3 seconds behind Rockstar. You can see Jax is just pushing through every apex, but he's just got nowhere to go. Adri's out of the race. He's had a spin and he's out of the race, so we're down to 9 runners now. And these guys have now been released towards Rockstar, but the gap is 4 seconds with only 7 laps to go. The only thing with Rockstar was that he did run most of that stint under the safety car, so that might be enough to get him to the end of the race. But still, he's got a decent gap at the moment, and it might be enough. We've got a bit of a 5-car train, which is going to keep things interesting. Sam is getting a big run on No Mercy, but without the DRS, I don't think he's going to be close. Looking to the outside, No Mercy is going to have to take the defensive line. Cowboy picking up a first 3-second time penalty, and Babon has gone off. As is Cowboy. So maybe a collision there at turn 1. But that has just cost them both significantly. As now Sam with the DRS, he should have No Mercy this time. And if he can wedge it between himself and JXW, that would be crucial. Oh, ever so close. Jax looking for the opportunistic move, looking around the outside. Thought better of it. Maybe had a chance to send it up the inside of turn 4, but that was going to be close either way. Zog is now back up to 7th. And Grim Reaper has made it into 5th. Ooh, Hightower running a little bit deep. This is going to be the chance for Zog. He had to run over the curb there in order to avoid running in the back of Hightower. So Hightower managing to hang on to 6th. Let's get back to JXW. Sitting behind No Mercy, who's on the hards. Those hards do not look to be on the pace. Grim Reaper's had a bit of an incident. Hightower's into the wall. He's managed to not DNF, but he's going to lose significant time there. He's reversing out of the castle section. That is a tough spot. Zog and Babon through. Grim Reaper now ahead. Maybe a bit of team orders should be coming here for the Mercedes team. Cowboy did get through on Hightower, so he's back up to 8th. Babon right on this battle as well. But we're going to see JXW on the back of No Mercy. He's going to need to get through as quickly as possible. Rockstar still pulling away from Sam despite being on the older tires, so he's looking very good to win this race. No Mercy just about picking up DRS, but I think Jax is going to just about have enough. Looking to the outside, and oh, he's going to brake very early. No Mercy goes a little bit deep. A lovely switch back from JX, and he's up into third. Babon and Grim Reaper going side by side. Grim Reaper forced to yield, so Babon is back up into 6th. Zog up into 5th. He's got that penalty though, which is going to be absolutely crucial. So we've got 7 cars who have pulled away a bit from the rest of the field. JXW and Sam now battling for 2nd. They've both lost significant time to Rockstar ahead. This is Rockstar's race to lose Cowboys out of the race in the pits. So we're down to 8 runners. Rockstar still keeping that gap despite being on significantly worn tires at the moment. This could be turning into a battle for 2nd, as we only have 5 laps left in this race. Babon and Zag battling for 5th. Well, there's another yellow flag. That's Grim Reaper, who's gone around at turn 7. I think he's lost his entire front wing, so that's unfortunate for him. He's going to join Hightower towards the back of the grid. Sam and JX. Should be a close battle down into turn 1 this time. JX is very close. It's going to come down to whoever gets a better exit, and JX will get a much better exit here. He's surely going to be by, and he will move up into 2nd place. Sam M dropping to 3rd. They both cleared No Mercy from DRS range, which is only good for them. Babon within DRS range of Zag, but he's not going to be close enough this time. And all the DRS trading between JXW and Sam has pulled them back within 5 seconds of Rockstar, so they might be able to close the gap now that they're on fresher tires. And Babon not going to be close enough once again this time. Sam was able to pull back up to JX, but he's not going to be able to make a move. If these two can keep slingshotting each other, they might have a chance. They're closing within 4 seconds, so Rockstar perhaps starting to struggle on these older mediums. Grim Reaper back into the pits for a wing change. So Sam, he's got to stay within JX's DRS here. He had a little bit of an issue there, it seemed. He lost about half a second. But he's still within DRS range at the moment. Babon and Zag still tracking each other for 5th. Babon doesn't have to force a move here. He knows he would have the position eventually on penalties. So a top 5 would be a great result from Babon. But Sam has dropped out of JX's DRS. But JX has closed up nearly a second on Rockstar this lap. But it still might not be enough. You can just see the delta starting to come down. Babon pretty close to Zag this time. He might have an opportunity down into turn 1. Zag got a bit of a better exit though, which is going to play into his favor. DRS is pretty powerful. Let's see if Babon can catch up. JXW is setting the fastest lap of the race, so that will help him in his pursuit of the race win. Babon not going to be close enough. He might have an opportunity into turn 3, but he's going to have to get a good exit here, and he runs a little bit deep. Zag should be able to hang on to that position. So Rockstar leading. He's fully committed to taking his tires to the end of the race, but Jax is closing. He's within 4 seconds. Only trouble now is he's starting to run out of laps. We will have 2 to go this time. And JX's tires aren't exactly spring chickens either. Gap now over 4 seconds once again. Rockstar having a pretty strong lap here, it seems. And it might be good enough. Oh, Sam has had a bit of an issue. No Mercy is right on back for 3rd place. He is on the hard tires though, which might start to come back in towards him. here in these last couple of laps. Bourbon has had an issue as well. And he's now dropped out of Zag's penalty window entirely, so Bourbon perhaps having an issue through the middle sector, which is going to give Zag 5th place at least. Sam got a good run out of sector 3 there, and I think he's going to be able to hang on to 3rd place, at least for the moment. But Rockstar out front, the gap's still about 4 seconds, with just 2 laps to go. It's going to take a gargantuan last 2 laps for JXW to make this a race win. Yeah, but Bond has to come in for a wing change. So Grim Reaper and Hightower still could be on for some good points, as Grim Reaper did make it its way back past Hightower. So this appears to be Rockstar's race to lose at the moment. Those 4 safety cars all playing into his hands. Sam's just got to hang on for the moment. No Mercy's best 2 chances to get on the podium are going to be into turn 1 on each of these last 2 laps. The rest of the positions seem to be decided for the time being. Although it is Baku, still a lot of time for things to happen. JX back within 4 seconds, but I think he's going to run out of time. We'll stick with this battle for the final podium place. All about the exit here. No Mercy hits the curb a little bit, and that'll allow Sam to pull away. 7/10 of a second of gap. Is he going to be enough? Neither driver having any RS to go. I think No Mercy is going to be just a bit too far back. Yellow flag. That is Grim Reaper, I think, having an issue with the castle section. No Mercy setting a personal best, but still not enough. Rockstar putting on a strategic masterclass in this race. And he looks like to be coming home as the race winner. He's just got to make it through 1 more lap. JXW, after having multiple incidents, worked his way back up into 2nd for a very solid result. This is the battle for the 3rd place. Everything left that you got, throw it on the table now. This middle sector all about setting yourself up for that final run to the line. We could see a photo finish for the podium. You don't want to cut the corner and pick up a penalty now. Everything seems clean so far. Sam a little bit squirrely through there, but No Mercy not quite close enough. Grim Reaper had to make another stop. That will give Hightower 7th place. Into the final sector for the final time. Rockstar rounding the final corner. He showed good pace in qualifying and a very solid, clean race tonight. Up to the line for the final time. It's going to be another good result for AlphaTauri, and up to the line it's going to be Rockstar Tivanker to win the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, setting the fastest lap to boot. JXW is going to come home 2nd, but we'll take a look at the final podium position. Sam is holding on to it for now. No Mercy is right there, but he's not going to be able to get it. Sam comes home 3rd. Zag picking up 5th place. A very good result for him tonight after starting from nearly the back of the grid. Here's Babon after a struggling start to the race. Will come along to finish 6th. So a very good night as well for Aston Martin, the only team along with Mercedes to have both drivers finish. Babon steals the fastest lap right at the end. And we'll just wait for Hightower and Grim Reaper to come across the line to finish off 7th and 8th. So Cowboy and Adri both finishing 9th and 10th, although I don't think they've finished enough to... No Mercy picking up 20 seconds apparently. I think that may be a glitch. So we'll have to keep a note of that for the stewarding room. Never seen that one before. But here's Hightower to finish 7th across the line. And Grim Reaper will round out the field and finish 8th. So very nearly DNFing right at the end. But a chaotic race here in Baku. Tier 2 always putting on a show, and tonight was no exception. I'm out of breath after that one. These races just keep getting better and better here from Tier 2. We'll take one last look at the final results. Rockstar Devanker taking home the race win after finishing pole position. JXW finishes 2nd, CMM 3rd. Zai comes home 4th, No Mercy 5th. Babon 6th. Hightower coming home 7th. Grim Reaper 8th. Cowboy finishing 9th. And Adrilock 10th, although I don't think either of those will classify. Asylum finishing 11th. Riley 12th. Denmark 13th. Wreckdiver 14th. Nico 15th. Monkey 16th. J-Dude and Soy Loco rounding out the field. So we're going to get the top 3 in here for some interviews, and we'll be right back for that. Welcome to the party. Great race from you guys. Just waiting on JX, but while we wait for him to join the party, first off, congratulations to you both. A fantastic race tonight. We'll start with Rockstar. So, congratulations on the race win. Starting on pole position and bringing home the race win. It was a strategic win for you tonight. How did you play out the strategy there with all those safety cars in the middle of your stint?
Yeah, well, congrats to the other podium sitters, first off, and great race. It was definitely eventful, but to be honest, I just kind of like played it by ear. I didn't really have with the amount of safety cars we had, it was hard to really plan out a set strategy, so I knew the mediums could do a good 15 to 20 laps, so with all the safety cars, and with the first safety car around lap 4 or 5, I just kind of put on the mediums, and then I was just going to play it out by ear there, and I was able to ride them to the end, so I didn't think it was worth pitting for softs or anything like that, and just track position here was key, as just that clean air and not being stuck behind anyone was best. So
exactly, it was definitely a clean race for me tonight, which was crucial as we saw. But that last restart, I noted on the stream, we had almost an inverted tire order as the guys with the older tires were at the front. What was your mindset there, knowing that you were leading the field with everybody behind on much fresher tires?
Yeah, I was just honestly just trying to wait until the very last second before we crossed the line, and just delay it as long as possible, because that straight is, you can get a really good slipstream down there, so I knew there would be people behind me on fresher tires, but I feel like I was, with the distance from start-finish line to turn 1 was short enough where I could just hold them off. And I feel like I had pretty good pace in Sector 2 with, some added downforce, so just kind of trying to make time up there.
Yeah, again, congratulations, Rockstar. That was a fantastic drive tonight. We're still waiting on Jack, so we'll move on to Sam M. Sam, another. We were on the podium last week in Monaco. I'm back on it again tonight. Bit of an up and down race for you tonight, but what do you think was the key to getting you back on the podium tonight?
Well, congrats to Rockstar. Yeah, it was kind of an up and down race. I got lucky with all the safety cars and just took my pits on the right time. Wasn't the right tires, I think, in the end. Yeah, I didn't really expect a podium at all. I was happy to be in the points, so I'll take a P3. A little bit unlucky in the beginning, but yeah, made my way up and just stayed consistent.
Yeah, again, that's what was crucial tonight, as we saw. And then on that last restart, we saw you had a fantastic battle with, I think that was No Mercy in the Haas. How did that play out for you in those last couple laps?
Oh, I was very, very stressed out because of that. I made a mistake in the castle section, and he caught back up to me, and that's when my tires were, I think, worse than his. So he was catching up really quick, and yeah, he would have got to me in the next lap if there was another lap, but thankfully the race was over, and yeah, I'll take P3.
Yeah, again, a very solid race tonight. Doesn't seem to be any sign of JX, so we're gonna call it there. Thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. Tier 2 from Azerbaijan. We'll see everyone tomorrow night. We have Tier 3 coming back here from Baku, and then the EU tier on Sunday. A fantastic show from these Tier 2 guys tonight, and we'll catch you all tomorrow night.